We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars Wrestling Show, episode 313. I am your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. Elsewhere on the screen, we've got joining us this week the current reigning and defending Scholars of Wrestling heavyweight champion of the world, Mr. Brian, Scholar Brian. How's it going tonight, sir?
It's a sad day.
Yes, it is.
It's never going to be a new day again.
Yes.
No clapping. No clapping. There is no positivity tonight because
New Day still rocks.
they still
Yes.
rock, just separately now.
But joining us all together this week also is the one and only, the always effervescent, doing his best Tommy Dreamer cosplay, the one and only Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing all right. It'll always be a new day. Yes, it will be.
And of course, also joining us this week is the one and only, he smells of lilacs, rainbows, and horse leather, the one and only Mr. Scholar Charlie. Scholar Charlie, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm feeling blue. I'm wearing blue. I'm praying for a miracle for red. And New Day will always rock.
Yes, we are only hours removed at the time of this recording from night one of the 2020 WWE draft. We're still all collectively reeling from the apparent split of Big E and Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. It does seem very discouraging. I think we all agree on that. That's the New Day seem to have been broken up by no fault of their own. But be that as it may, the wrestling world still continues on, and this story is still going. But before we get to all of that and our take on how the WWE draft should go, we got to kick things off the right way with a little segment we like to call Backstage News.
Indeed, we shall go ahead and peek behind that curtain and notice the New Day's awesome Rocco's Modern Life attire on this episode of SmackDown and check in on a little
backstage
news.
News said me.
At least it wasn't, none of them did a heel turn. It was just, it's just the draft broke them up.
At least Vince McMahon didn't go full Vince on this one. He only went
Thankfully.
He only went half Vince.
Tarek, you saw, I was talking to them about it earlier. They put today, well, it was up today on WWE.com, the full list of the draft pool, and New Day was in as a whole before all of this. So I don't know if this was like pulled on the dime or what, but
apparently they like their reactions. Yeah.
Plus their reactions. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I'm telling you guys now, you're broken up. Yeah.
Biggie looked like he could cry.
Yeah, that was just heartbreaking to watch. But thankfully,
that definitely looked like they were told 10 seconds beforehand. And
it looks like they found out just then.
And Vince McMahon found out, and Vince McMahon made the decision about 30 seconds before that. So
okay, that's on to backstage news. I'm getting emotional.
Yes, there was some good news in the wrestling world this week. Alberto Del Rio is going to jail.
That is
very
good news.
Alberto Del Rio has been formally indicted on kidnapping charges, and reports say that he could be facing 20 years in prison.
Look at my eyes right now. Do you see how dry they are?
No tears were shed?
None. Never liked him. I could tell just from backstage reports and all that he was basically a big piece of shit. So this is just okay. You do something stupid, you're gonna pay for it. And now you are going to know that when you're becoming a prison bitch.
All right. On that
Clay.
On that note, Scholars Quick Talk for you all. What the hell is wrong with Alberto Del Rio? Charlie, you go first.
Well, for one, he almost ran over me and Castaldo after he lost his title to CM Punk coming out of Madison Square Garden.
Oh, jeez.
He always just seemed to be a douche.
Great show.
He always just seemed to be a douche.
It's one of those things where the character that he came into the WWE with, like you could tell, like that was his actual personality, like that wasn't played up or anything like that. And then
I'm wrong, but I believe there was a time when Alberto Del Rio was going around more recently saying that WWE was looking into rehiring him, and like Triple H, when asked, would just like laugh or like shrug or something, as if like he had no idea.
He became that Stone Cold meme of the
Yeah.
it just Alberto Del Rio's going to prison. Look at my surprised face.
That's very surprising.
And you know what almost sucks?
Man.
Because it seemed like he actually legitimately wanted to do something. Like he opened up a Mexican restaurant, and it seemed like it was all right. But even then, reports were like, "Yeah, he's not adequately running the place. The whole place is dirty, very poorly managed." I'm like, dude, do something. Like, it's not that hard to not kidnap people. I do it all the time. I never kidnap people. Every day I wake up, I'm just like, you know what I'm not going to do today? I'm not going to kidnap anyone. And I succeed, damn it.
Wasn't he like almost arrested or something like almost a year ago? I feel like his name was in the news more recently than...
I recall something about that.
Yeah, and he had that mug shot that looked like someone was jamming a finger up his butt.
Yeah.
He's been in and out.
He's gonna be in and out.
Then when he gets
gotta
out,
be
he's
in.
gonna be working it in and out.
Jail butt rape.
He's been arrested many times, like for various things. Like this is the big one, but I mean like DUIs and all that. He's had a bunch of them. It's just like when you hear about how he treated Paige during that whole thing and all that, and the way that he was in the backstage area. Is this really surprising to anyone?
For real, like,
Really?
beat your significant other, don't kidnap people, and don't be a douche. Like, broke all three of those.
And be attentive to your restaurant business, and maybe you'll have a cool place to go and actually make money.
That's three very simple things to not do. and Alberto Del Rio could not succeed in any of them. That's it.
Oh, man.
Enjoy prison life. We won't miss you.
Yeah, no.
It's a real shame, Lobster Head.
No, it's not.
Don't bring
Oh.
shame.
Not a shame.
There's no shame in it.
There's no shame. We're celebrating. We celebrate the demise of Alberto Del Rio on the Scholars of Wrestling. That's how we roll here.
All right. In that case, can we move on to something that we can all legitimately celebrate? I sent out the APB to you guys in a group chat, but ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of the bubbly is back on the market. Yes, friends, a second edition of Little Bit of the Bubbly has just been announced and is already on sale. They did change the label, so you do know it's a new edition of it. Instead of gold print on black, it's black print on silver. So looks swanky. It's a little bit of the bubbly. Immediate reactions.
What the hell is swanky?
Swanky?
I've never heard that word before.
It's like fancy, luxurious.
And suave?
Yes. Swanky.
As long as it tastes the same, it's all good.
I mean, I believe we all during the first printing or whatever of it, I think we all did have some, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I finished a bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my second bottle. Thank you, Tarek.
I was gonna say, didn't we have like 3 bottles that one night?
Yeah,
And I had one of them because it was so goddamn good.
yeah.
I was drinking that shit like it was water.
He
It
did.
did go down smooth.
It was delicious.
I did.
So as long as they don't change anything and and it still tastes the same, then yes, celebrate good times. That's it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what,
With
especially
little bit
after WWE tried to sell us $50 bottles of wine, like I really couldn't justify it. But as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, a little bit of the bubbly, let's go.
You'd contemplate that taker bottle.
Oh,
I
I'm
did
definitely getting a taker bottle.
They sell them in 2-packs minimum, so you're going to have to shell out $100 minimum.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
But meanwhile, you can get 2 bottles of a little bit of the bubbly for $48.
Yes.
Which, that's nothing to sneeze at. It's good quality stuff. So I guess AEW and Knocking Point are beating WWE to the punch easy. And so is Carmella, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, comparing wine to champagne, I could see wine going on the more expensive side of things over champagne.
And I can't stand champagne, so that works out.
Actually, it's
He's a
sparkling
bourbon.
wine, you guys.
That is true.
Wait, what?
It's champagne is only champagne if it's sparkling white wine from a certain region, from the Champagne region in France. If it's American, it's sparkling wine. If it's Italian, I believe it's called Spumante, something like that. I know Season likes Spumante. I think French. I think French is Brut. Something like that. You pervert.
That is Brut. I smell you pervert.
Anyway, I'm sure between all 4 of us, we can talk the merits of wine and all that stuff. But
I'm chugging the bottle.
There's gonna be a limited supply of this stuff. So if you want to chug a bottle, go and buy a bottle, 2 bottles of the bubbly, and bring your own. We'll all share some bubbly.
I'm gonna just come. I'm just gonna be coming up to your house and just be like, all right, it's like, all right, the bottle's open. I'm making you think I actually drink. I drink and drive, which is not the case at all. But I'm gonna make you think that way.
I am going to check to see how it's doing right now. A little bit of the bubbly.
A little bit of the Michael Bublé.
No. Google, work with me here.
Michael Bublé.
My thumbs are too big. No,
that's what she said.
She's a whore.
Big thumb loving whore.
Hey, however it gets done, right?
Hey.
So yeah, how's the G1 Climax going?
We don't talk about the G1 Climax. We talk about a little bit of the bubbly. There you go. 48. It's on.
Like Donkey Kong.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
Little bit of the bubbly to celebrate your climax.
Over a little bit, Jeff. Over a little bit. Down. Good. There it is. $48.
Yes.
It shall be mine.
It's on. It's for sale. You can get it. If you're of legal age, I don't care where you are, go get you a little bit of the bubbly. It is delicious. You will enjoy it. But now we come to our main event of the evening, of the show. We have a draft to get to, and we have each one of us, drafted how we think 10 picks of how everyone should go, with all the changes that should be made. Some of us have made these decisions over a period of days. Others, some of us who shall remain nameless, have done these in the past 5 minutes, but quality will abound on every single list.
Wait. I did 10 for Raw, 10 for SmackDown. Is that okay?
Not good. No,
you broke the rules, Charlie.
Oh.
The rules I didn't even know about until 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't say that. Hey, I'm sure it'll all be good. We'll all just dive right in and just see how this all goes out, because we all legitimately gave this some thoughts. We all have some opinions of how it can go. The question is, who's going first? Brian? But
Tarek.
I can't name today. Tarek, you volunteered. You go first. Who do you got?
Right.
Who goes where?
All right. Same with Charlie. I just did a top 10 list for each show.
Woo!
And yeah, I did this list days in advance. So I got a couple right, and let's see. I think I got as a right. I technically I was right and wrong with certain trio that's no longer a trio.
We don't speak of that.
All right, for Raw, obviously I picked my number one pick, Drew McIntyre, for reasons. Number two, I picked Bray Wyatt to go to Raw. For number three, I did AJ Styles, which, yeah, now he's on Raw, as we confirmed that on SmackDown tonight. Number four, I picked Sheamus. 5, Randy Orton stays on Raw. 6, I actually think this was another one confirmed tonight. The Hurt Business on Raw stays on Raw.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
7, as for NXT call up, because I did one for each show, I picked Adam Cole, baby.
Interesting.
8, Kevin Owens. 9, another confirmed one tonight, Miz and Morrison. And number 10, Samoa Joe. Are we going to do both lists, or are we just going to start with Raw and then do SmackDown?
We each do all of our lists.
Let me first we do Raw. Each of us do Raw, and then we just circle. Which do you guys prefer?
I feel we do a Raw and then we do a SmackDown. So I'm
okay.
I only have one list of 10, so I can go either way, really.
Want me to get my Raw one out of the way then?
Sure.
Okay. I only did guys transferring from SmackDown to Raw. I didn't do any stays. I guess I missed that last year because I don't remember that being a thing. But for top 10 Raw acquisitions in no certain order, AJ Styles I got right. I put Braun Strowman to Raw officially because that hasn't happened yet. He's just shown up on Underground.
Which is apparently dropped, thank God.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Are they saying it's dropped?
From what I've been reading, that it has been officially dropped.
Oh wow.
Okay. And I don't. That's another dry eye moment. You're not going to see me cry over that garbage.
Yeah. Miz and Morrison. Sheamus. New Day to Raw. Jeff Hardy. King Corbin. Lacey Evans. Jeff. Matt Riddle and Daniel Bryan. More or less, my Raw to SmackDown, I just feel are guys that need a reset right now desperately. And Lacey Evans. So.
Well, to be fair, and I'm speaking this as like the Lacey fan in the room, she needs something to do. She needs some sort of reboot, reset. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't do like a top 10. I just did who I think should move.
Yeah,
I did the same.
Should move. So I had AJ Styles move to Raw. I didn't think that they were going to break up the New Day. I thought they were going to break up Miz and Morrison. I said that Morrison was going to move to Raw. I said Sheamus is going to move to Raw. I said full New Day move to Raw. I actually had Sasha Banks going to Raw, winning the Royal Rumble, and then calling out Bayley that way to get like a main event WrestleMania match kind of deal going, instead of just them blowing their load on the feud right now. But that obviously didn't happen. Let's see. What else did I have? Braun Strowman. I have Braun Strowman. I have Bray Wyatt staying on SmackDown, but I have oh shit.
Who's that? Who's shit?
Yeah.
Now coming in at 229 pounds. Shit.
That's a pretty big shit.
He's got a shit.
Where's Jeff Goldblum right now? That is one big pile of shit.
Nikki Cross. I have Nikki Cross going over. I also see Lacey Evans moving to Raw. I don't think you keep Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss on the same program if they're not going to be a tag team. So I've got Nikki Cross going over.
It's actually funny. I was actually thinking about your list. I was actually considering putting Morrison by himself going to Raw, but I do like him and Miz together. They are a funny act, and to be fair, WWE needs tag teams. So,
and they needed to get Morrison and Miz away from Otis. That feud is rough.
That is actually like the worst storyline going on SmackDown. I'm very glad. Don't you guys find it weird that they just separated Otis from Tucker when it comes to this draft? It's like Otis stays on SmackDown. Otis stays on SmackDown, and Tucker's just like, I think they even brought it up in that backstage segment.
Do they have the balls?
No.
To put Tucker on.
If they break up Heavy Machinery, Tucker is going to be reduced to nothing.
Yeah.
Vince has his weird. I'm just going to call it a Santino Marella love for Otis right now.
Don't you mean Odor and Tuckus?
Odor and Tuckus. I like that.
Vince loves his odor.
Gross.
It just smells so good, damn it. Odor and Tuckus. It's a great name. Such good shit. All right, I'll stop. I apologize for that.
Death has a mixture of both. Tarek, do you want to do your SmackDown?
Yeah, sure. We'll save the
main event.
We'll save the fool for last.
Yay.
All right, for my SmackDown list. Sorry. Weird noises going on upstairs. I don't want to know.
Kind of weird noises.
Sounds like a power drill.
However you gotta do it, I don't know.
Damn hair salon.
Hair salon, exactly.
Power drills.
Power drills at night.
Perms and power drills. That's how you do.
To go with how I set it up, I did the champions first. So yeah, Roman Reigns, number 1. Seth Rollins, number 2. Which, confirmed. Even though I'm not necessarily a big fan of Ray and Dominic moving to SmackDown as well. I picked Keith Lee for SmackDown. Andrade for SmackDown. Sami Zayn stays. I said the entire New Day stays to SmackDown, but yeah, well, we saw how that turned out.
Womp womp.
For my NXT call-up, I picked Johnny Gargano. 8, Apollo Crews, just to get him away from the Hurt Business. 9, Heavy Machinery, which I'm apparently half right. Hopefully Tuckus stays on SmackDown as well.
Odor.
Tuckus.
I think that's going to be their, for scholars, it's going to be their official name now.
Odor.
Is bad.
Odor and Tuckus.
We made a meme this day.
And last, Jeff Hardy.
All right.
Again, in no particular order, I got guys just moving to the SmackDown. Seth Rollins. I also chose Apollo Crews to get him away from the Hurt Business. But we got rid of one. Well, if that happens, we get rid of one never-ending storyline, but we still have Mysterio and Rollins going on forever. Kevin Owens to SmackDown, Aleister Black to SmackDown, Andrade. I put Angel Garza, which isn't going to happen now. Dolph and Robert Roode.
Sounded like you were going to say Roderick Rude.
Roderick, no.
Roderick, no.
Humberto Carrillo, whatever. Zelina Vega and Ricochet, which isn't going to happen.
The big one was Seth Rollins.
Of course, everyone knew.
Frickin' Rollins.
Okay, I've got Kevin Owens. I've got I've also got Apollo Crews. I had Rey Mysterio. I honestly had Rey Mysterio going to SmackDown and Dominic staying on Raw.
That would have been interesting.
That heck
I
a lot
actually
better
would've
than what we
liked
got.
Yeah,
That's what I
and
thought was going to happen.
I've got the Street. I had the Street Profits because if the New Day's going over to Raw, I had to move the Street Profits. I did, and if the Street Profits go, I did have Bianca Belair going to SmackDown. Andrade. As soon as they broke up Angel Garza and Andrade, I'm like, Andrade is going to SmackDown to be close. So he can, because also Charlotte's on SmackDown. So whenever she
have
comes,
her Bay on SmackDown, yeah.
Yeah. So
Nay.
got the also Aleister Black. So once again, SmackDown's coming up huge, coming up big, and just to keep the storyline going, unless they kill it off on Raw, I've also got Murphy.
You know what? It was actually funny. You were pitching the idea of Dominic staying on Raw. I actually would have liked the whole storyline of Murphy versus Dominic. That would have been like taking the father out of the story. That would have been interesting.
And that's also why I've got Murphy moving over, because you still have that storyline with the sister, or whatever. You can't. Murphy's got to go over there now too, because I don't even think it's Seth versus Mysterio versus Ray anymore. It's like the battle for Murphy at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't have 1 and 2 without the third. Okay, that's it.
One thing I love how they handled was getting Seth's pick out of the way like super fast, because that was like the overall one that everyone knew was going to happen. And if this was back in Ruthless Aggression time, you know that there would be like some big tag match at the end where like Seth came out on top and they're like, oh, and our last pick, Seth Rollins to SmackDown. Whoa!
known this was gonna happen for the last 3 hours. Shut up. That's it. That's it.
All right, with that, now let's hear the mixed draft with the Fool.
Yes.
Fool?
For mine, I just did 10 switches I thought should happen from both shows. I'm sure I've got something wrong at some point along the way, and they just end up staying on their own show. But be that as it may, this is what I came up with. Because I noticed there was a lot of people who could very easily switch over and just for a freshening up. That, like you said, Charlie, I believe that was the underlying philosophy between all of my switches. Just people who can either need refreshing or could stand be used in a new way. And to the shock of no one, Lacey Evans was on the top of that list. She needs something fresh to do. Again, I'm the biggest advocate in the room. I'm a fan, and I know she can do a whole lot more, and she needs a new stage to perform on, and I'm all here for it. So Lacey Evans goes to Raw, and for my next pick, I've got Keith Lee going to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
No particular reason other than I feel like the way he's being portrayed and just his natural temperament, I feel like it would be an excellent fit for SmackDown. I had the New Day going to Raw as one cohesive unit. Sure, hindsight is what it is right now, but I still felt like, yeah, he could have absolutely stayed on Raw. And can you imagine New Day versus the Hurt Business? That would have been an incredible feud. That's like that would be money.
That would be New Day Uso status.
That
would have been good business.
Just to keep the singles push going, I would love to have seen for the U.S. title Big E versus Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
If anything, I feel like you at this stage, given how everyone's portrayed, put Big E in title contention with Drew McIntyre for the world title, triple threat match, and then give for the U.S. title, put Xavier Woods in there. Right now,
I'm sorry, Bobby Lashley would eat him.
So you think it's that uphill climb?
No.
It would have been they're going to be great mouthpieces against MVP.
Yes.
Woods versus MVP on the mic, it would be amazing.
Again, great potential for great character stuff. It could still happen, just without Big E, unfortunately. But be that as it may, if it were up to me, New Day to Raw, all three of them. Also, I would send Bianca Belair to SmackDown. I thought that was a very good pick, and I'm glad to see that SmackDown is rolling with it. Now we're getting into kind of crazy territory where I'm thinking outside the box here.
Yeah.
If indeed Raw Underground is being canned, I still feel like something needs to come out of this. Some new star needs to be made, or something needs to be done from this.
They already drilled that huge guy with Braun, though. So
you mean Dabba-Kato?
Yeah.
So in other words, they need to inject some. They need to.
When I told you what I heard on that podcast, they might as well do that now, and just have it be Shane's crazy dream.
Well, apparently Shane's crazy dream pissed off some people, including Dabba-Kato, who was supposed to be his big. This is supposed to be his big break. So, yeah, Dabba-Kato goes to Raw in actual Raw,
and Shane is his manager, just to give Raw Underground actual meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need to do something with this.
As long as Shane's not in the ring, go for it.
Yeah, no, he needs to pay off in some way.
His Shane McMahon commentating throughout all around the ring, just doing his which way did he go? Which way did he go? Which way did he go?
Yeah, because I'm done with
so crazy. He's already he's a rain cloud of sweat, just going back and forth, trying to trying to go crazy, trying to throw his own special commentary like how he did with Raw Underground. Hell, he even have the microphone and do it during the match. Didn't they? They did similar to like Leo Rush when he was with Bobby Lashley. Instead of just chanting Lashley, he'll just keep doing his Raw Underground commentary during matches. That'll be just a fun act.
Speaking of fun acts, there are some people who, speaking of people who just need a new shot and just need to be presented in a different way. Little bubbly. There are some people who just need to be presented on a bigger stage, and I feel like one of those people, no pun intended, Shotzi Blackheart to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I can see her doing well on a SmackDown Thunderdome style setting. And let's face it, when Shotzi Blackheart shows up on screen, like, bright green hair, friggin' tank, like edgy early 90s aesthetic, that will make people put their phones down and be like, who is that? So throw on SmackDown. I think it'll be a good time. There is another pick that I thought was a very good one. I like the idea of leaving Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax to Raw. I'm not sure if it makes the women's tag belts an exclusive to Raw now.
Mm-mm.
But even if it is, if it isn't, then it isn't. But if it is, then I do appreciate leaving the women's tag belts on SmackDown. Or on Raw, rather, making them exclusive, giving another reason to sort of tip the scales in favor of Raw and gives her something else to fill out a third hour of Raw.
I just looked at it as just the people holding the belts. When they drop it, they stay on Raw, and let's say because with the rules of the women's tag titles, they still can go on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
I see basically Shayna and just having it be Shayna and Nia as sole Raw people, even though they were already Raw people. But hey, they also say the Hurt Business stays on Raw, so who cares?
Hey.
It's like
All right.
I'm still not necessarily a fan of them, but whatever.
Yeah, I've seen a lot worse, and the dynamic is really starting to grow on me, honestly.
Nah.
Speaking of dynamic, I've got the Street Profits going to SmackDown. Just because I feel like they've done all they can really do on Raw right now. They just need a simple change of scenery. That's all they need. They've got everything else.
Here, I got a Scholar's Quick Talk for you, gentlemen.
Yes.
To keep we're going with the Street Profits, and now both tag team titles are on, as of right now, on Raw. Would you want to see them take the tag team titles and do what they are doing with the women's tag team titles and have them be? They could unify just the tag titles and have those titles jump on shows, at least specifically for Raw and SmackDown, since NXT has its own tag team championship.
Yes. In a word,
if they had more teams, I would be okay with that. The problem is they're breaking up everybody.
Actually, I think because they lessen the teams now, having them on two shows actually makes more sense.
Yeah, I honestly think the way that they're breaking up the teams, you kind of have to at this point, because it makes no sense, because then you have what happened the last couple of months with Cesaro and Nakamura versus Lucha House Party 5,000 times, and Garza and Andrade versus the Street Profits 5,000 times.
No. You got the numbers all wrong. It's Nakamura and Cesaro versus Lucha House Party 5,000 times. Angel Garza and Andrade versus Street Profits 1,000,000 times. Get those numbers right.
All right.
Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, either way, and you're already working on breaking up Lucha House Party and you already broke up Garza and Andrade, and you're gonna confirm that when Andrade actually does go to SmackDown on Monday. But it's like I like the idea of unification, but it's like they've bought it on themselves. Like they don't really have a choice at this point. It's because the fact that you're breaking up all these tag teams, it's like there's no reason to have two.
And yeah, just to clarify that, I totally agree with you. It actually makes far more logistical sense now than it has in the past, strictly because we're still technically in a COVID circumstance period. We're dealing with limited rosters, and on top of everything, both rosters are essentially broadcasting out of the same location. So there's really no reason to not unify some of these titles. I think it would easily make the titles mean a lot more, and it makes the divisions you've got go much longer.
Oh, I would say keep the world titles and the mid-card titles. Just merge the.
I say don't merge the mid-card titles. Leave them show exclusive as they are, but merge all the tag titles and merge the world title as well. Do it at a big show like either Royal Rumble or SmackDown or SmackDown or WrestleMania whenever the timing is right. But anyway,
I disagree on the world titles, but yeah.
Fair point. Charlie, you had something?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of unifying the tag titles, but you guys changed my mind on that. You brought up a lot of good points. And imagine the unification match that you're gonna see between New Day and Street Profits. It's gonna be a good match.
That it will.
Yeah.
Then again, I feel like
I'm also against unifying the singles titles. The only reason I'm for unifying the tag titles is because the lack of tag teams you have. There is no lack of singles competitors, and that's why you have the two world titles, because if there's only one world title, okay, you don't get Drew McIntyre as champion. It's Roman Reigns all day, every day. That's it. Mm-hmm. So it's like for singles titles, you keep them the way that they are. The only reason you're unifying the tag team titles is because you don't have tag teams. That's it.
You don't have enough tag teams. I mean, I think you could.
You've got like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think you could just count them with one hand.
Cesaro, Shinsuke, New Day,
Street Profits,
House Party, that's still remaining Lucha House Party, Street Profits,
Miz and Morrison,
Heavy Machinery, Abraham Lincoln,
Abraham. Dennis Frood, Socrates Johnson,
Dolphin Rude,
yeah.
Dolphin Rude.
Rude Dolphins.
So that's really 7.
Those goddamn Rude Dolphins are at it again. Battling kids.
I think that's it.
7 tag teams. That's horrible.
Well, that's what happens when you have a guy who's almost 80 years old and hates tag team wrestling.
7 tag teams.
Like,
hey, would you like another one?
I'd like plenty more.
All right. Well, I've got 2 more picks left.
Goddamn Rude Dolphins.
Dolphins. I can't remember what show she was originally on, but I put Charlotte Flair to Raw.
Okay.
Just because I feel like there's a bunch of things you can do with her.
She's currently on.
I think she was on NXT for a while. And then she
No.
just
She just picked the NXT title to win after winning the Royal Rumble.
okay.
I think she was exclusive to SmackDown, but she showed up everywhere because she's Charlotte Flair and she can show up anywhere she wants.
Well, here's the thing. Not only would Charlotte Flair be a good acquisition no matter where she goes, think about it for 1 second. What's one of the few things that Charlotte Flair still has not done?
Women's tag team title. I like Charlotte Flair, so yeah, that's the only thing she needs.
And who is her tag team partner, you may ask?
Uh-oh.
Do I need to say it?
Either Becky Lynch or Asuka?
No, Lacey Evans. Come on, it's Jeff.
Oh my God, stop it.
Team Sassy and Classy, whatever.
If Lacey Evans can't be women's champion, she could be women's tag team champion.
The woman deserves gold, baby. The woman deserves gold.
The only way you could have me agreeing to that sentence is if Charlotte Flair is her tag team partner. That's the only way.
And you know what?
Let's do all the work.
And you know what? That can be part of the gimmick. That's the way she can bring out the hand sanitizer and I put in so much work. Oops, women's right. Boom. That's it. There's her contribution.
Oh my God.
You can't tell me it doesn't make sense.
It makes sense right now.
Now the more you actually are pushing that, the more I want to see them take that off Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. I told you, I hate that tag team. I hate that they're tag team champions. I would pick Lacey Evans. I would pick Lacey Evans and Charlotte over Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax any day. Just any way to get I like Shayna Baszler. Any way to get Nia Jax, get a title off Nia Jax, even if it is the women's tag team titles.
Oh boy.
All right. That being said, as my final pick, I feel like I wanted to. There needed to be there wasn't enough shakeups, enough positive shakeups.
Okay.
So I felt like for my last pick, I really needed to do something to walk away, just as a big positive, exciting change. Just ooh, what's going to happen next?
Opposite of New Day.
Yes, that's just brought everybody down. No one liked it, whatever. There needs to be something that actually builds up hype and possibility.
If you say Lars Sullivan, I'm going to slap you.
I'm not going to say Lars Sullivan.
You just got to say El Dandy.
El Dandy's not on the roster. I'm trying to keep this remotely serious. No. Honestly, I went Karrion Kross to SmackDown. Because really, given how strongly he's presented, I feel like there's really not much else to do with him. He won the NXT title pretty damn decisively. So I feel like they could bring him back to NXT. There would be no problem with that. But I'm also thinking you know what? Given how strongly he's presented and how over he seems, why wait? If he's good to go and there needs to be some additions, hey, why not? Karrion Kross to SmackDown.
Interesting enough. Although I just want to see Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross at least once for the NXT title. I feel like that's like WrestleMania weekend NXT takeover style match. But I don't see him going to a main roster show because of the draft. I see them actually once he's done with NXT, he has a rematch, he has his match with Finn Balor, he disappears for a while, and then you just have video vignettes of an hourglass. Something similar to the Millennium Countdown, but then it's just little bits of an hourglass for a month, and it's if anything, have the vignette be like have them film basically an hourglass the entire time, and then just certain points of it, you just see the sand. Different weeks, you just see the sand getting smaller and smaller, and then the final week, once the hourglass empties, that's when he shows up on a main roster show.
I'd actually do it by do the same thing. Have the NXT title match with Finn Balor, and then have him show and have the vignettes, and then have him show up in the Royal Rumble and dominate the Royal Rumble.
That's a good one. And then have the hourglass end at the Royal, like at the countdown, and the opening for his entrance is the hourglass emptying.
Yeah,
that'll be that. Yeah, I look at that as a bigger deal than just saying, "Oh, NXT call up, Karrion Kross," because when you just think of NXT call ups, like regular NXT call ups, you don't think of it very well. Because really, when was really the last real successful NXT call up?
and you can't say
questionable.
Keith.
Yeah, definitely questionable.
You can't. Yeah, you can't call Keith Lee it.
Maybe the first 3 weeks, yeah, sure, but then all of a sudden he just either is winning by a count out or a disqualification.
Yeah, it's Keith Lee is one of those too soon. Everyone was not too soon to call him up. I mean, like everyone went nuts when he beat Randy Orton, and everyone's like the most successful call up ever, and then it's like, wait a minute.
And then it's just another NXT call up that they had nothing planned for him.
Yeah, it's like
I don't blame guys like Gargano wanting to stay on NXT forever, seeing how some of these guys are handled.
Yeah. The eternal struggle. But then again, we're only halfway through the official WWE draft. We're just scratching the surface. There's so many different ways this can go. This conversation, to me, is proof enough. But now is the time where we turn it over to you, our listening audience, wrestling listening, viewing, chatting, trash talking audience. Who do you think is going to go where in the WWE draft? Is anyone actually going to be pulled off of SmackDown? Are there any changes you're looking for? What do you really think about the New Day completely being broken up? Whatever your thoughts are, good, bad, and different, we want to hear from you. So drop us a line all across the internet, Facebook posts, YouTube comments, our personal favorite, the good old Twitter machines. Drop us a line wherever, especially on Twitter, starting at ScholarsOW, our main account page for all the latest episode uploads every single week. You can also join the conversation on your own, personally with us, on our personal Twitter accounts. Fool, where can they reach you?
You can reach me being upset that Mr. Brody Lee was a transitional champion at the Avataric. We didn't talk about AEW this week, so I had to bring it up at least once.
A fair point. Scholar Brian, where can they reach you?
You can find me crying into my pancakes and bootios at Atomic Beanpole.
Charlie, where can they reach you?
You can find me crying alongside Brian in a good New Day cry at the Charleem. At Charleem, not the Charleem. No, the.
At the Charleem Twitter account.
No, just tears.
He's inconsolable right now. He can't speak right.
Yeah.
And you can join me being mirthful about the new tag team Odor and Tuckus at I'm Robbie Rage.
And the Rude Dolphins.
And the Rude Dolphins.
Odor and Tuckus.
Yes. Regardless of what happens, the future can still be bright. But you already knew that because you know who we are. We're the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. See you all for night 2 of the WWE Draft.
This is our Patreon. He was a prison bitch.